Hey everyone, we've had a couple of people ask, how is your test prep different? We've got the test prep boot camp coming up this weekend. And so, it's a good question. How are we different? Well, here's what I can tell you. I often use the analogy, I see students that have 4.0 GPAs, they're averaging a 98%, they're doing really well in school, and yet they don't do as well on standardized tests. And parents are, really concerned. And why is that? They do so well, and yet it doesn't translate here. So the analogy I use is that it's like teaching your kid to drive a car with an automatic transmission. And then on test day, handing them the keys to a stick shift. It's not going to work because while from the outside they appear the same, they're both vehicles, you still use a key or that push button, and you've got a gas pedal and a brake pedal and a steering wheel. In that manual, in that stick shift, you also have a clutch, and that provides some problems for students. Well, standardized tests are the same way. They are trying to trick students, and they can say that they're not, but we show students where those pitfalls are. We're not focused on curriculum. We're not teaching them to drive the car for the first time. What we're doing is we're teaching them to make that transition from the knowledge that they have into problem solving, into figuring it out when they have to apply it elsewhere. In school, they're typically given information for 7 to 10 days, and then they're tested on it. And before they're tested, they have a study guide or a class preparation session where they discuss what's going to be on the test. For standardized tests, it's not like that. There's literally third grade math on the test that I can't tell you how many times students tell me, oh, I've never learned this. Yeah, you did. Back in third grade, you just don't remember it. It's not front of mind because for the last couple of years, you've been so focused on formulas and complex math that you're missing the really easy things. So we take them a step back and tell them, here's how you approach it. Here's what you do every single time so that you don't get stuck in those little tricks they're playing. You don't fall for a bad answer because it's super convenient and it's right there. And when I say that, I'll give you an example. Let's say that you have a problem and you have a straight line. You have two angles on the straight line. There's a perpendicular line coming through. You have two angles and they ask you to solve for the two angles. Well, one angle says it's 4x plus 6 and the other angle says it's 2x. And it asks you to solve for that smaller angle. And so you write it all out, 4x plus 6 plus 2x equals 180 because a straight line equals 180. Great, we solve for x and it's 29. Guess what one of the answers is? It's 29. But the smaller angle was 2x. It's 58. So how do we make sure that you don't pick that wrong answer that they set you up for? Because on test day, you're rushing, you're in a hurry. The kid next to you is tapping their pencil. Somebody else is already flipping pages and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta hurry. Oh, it's 29, boom. That's an answer, it's good, I did well. And you're wrong. So we teach students to not miss those things, to not make those simple mistakes. And by using the same strategy throughout the test in all of the different sections, students are successful. Our average student goes up with their ACT 5 to 8 points. That is a huge jump. On the SAT, that equates to over 200 points, and we see that routinely. So how are we different? We're talking strategies with students. We'll fill in some missing curriculum in the math. Everything else, they know everything else curriculum-wise that they need. They just need to know how to implement it on test day, under timed conditions, and what's going to make the biggest impact for them. In English, it's 10 simple rules, and we make the simple rules. We're not talking predicates and different kind of clauses. We're going to make it super easy so that they can find it. They can see it really quickly without having to consider all the possibilities in the English language. So that's how we're different. That's how we help your son or daughter achieve their goals. And that's what we're doing this weekend, 12 to 2, both Saturday and Sunday. It's $197. Comment yes if you still want the link to register your child. And if you register your child, you will get the videos and the materials. So even if they're not available tomorrow, but they are planning on taking the next test, you're going to have that information for them to go through it, watch it, work on it, and improve their scores. Get a better understanding of what they're doing. Don't send them to take a test without the strategies. It's just too difficult to do on the fly. All right, we'll talk to you all later, and I'm looking forward to seeing all your kids in our test prep.